A confused mind never buys.
Martians landed.
Yes.
Wearing Prada suits.
Yes.
Drinking Henry Seltzer.
Yes.
Chewing juicy fruit.
Yes, and?
Your branding here.
Yes, brand.
Your message here.
Yes, and?
A verse about
Yes.
your product here.
Yes.
I'm Hersh Rephun.
Yes, and?
I'm a message therapist.
Yes.
And I have a podcast.
Yes, brand.
That's right, that's it.
Yes.
We'll help you fix the world.
Yes.
Or your bottom line.
All right.
Your bottom line.
Get it. I get it. Welcome to the Yes Brand Podcast.
So for those of you who are bereft of video augmentation for this wonderful episode, you're not seeing all the blue that is in there. We have blue skies, we have blue logos, we have the blue Mozy logo, which will give you a little bit of a hint as to what we're doing today. My guests today on Yes Brand are Charlie Schertz and Stephanie Yeager. Charlie's a seasoned medical device engineer and inventor. He has more than 20 years of experience bringing those products to market. The most personal invention came from watching his own mom shiver through grandchildren's chilly outdoor sports games, and living here in Iowa City, that's definitely relatable. Charlie decided to apply his thermodynamic engineering experience to solve a problem that affects millions of families, and the result is Mozy, a patented wearable and weatherproof thermal wrap that uses the laws of heat transfer and thermodynamics to keep you 5 times warmer than traditional blankets, 5 times warmer without batteries or external heat sources. And Stephanie Yeager is the marketing and operations manager. She is wearing Mozy right now. She's from the Chicagoland area. She's been in the digital marketing space for 8 years and in lead generation, and now the e-com product space. Welcome, both of you, both Charlie and Stephanie, to the Yes Brand Podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hersh. Yeah, I was hoping that you would bring up the Mozy soon because I'm wearing it right now and I'm very hot. So
Yes.
So I know for those of you who have a visual, I want to just stand up and show you real quick.
Yes.
So I
And
know
then
you
you
kind
can-
of gave the intro, and then that way I can take it off. I'm going to remove my
Yeah.
headphones just for a second so you can kind of see the whole thing.
Okay. Now I get it. All right. Give us the 360. Wonderful.
360.
Wonderful.
The pockets.
Okay. And now
Oh,
she's taking
The
there
easy
we go.
on, easy off.
Yes. Got it. Okay. Well, we
Yeah.
had perfect, Stephanie.
Thank you,
So,
Stephanie.
so we had a little of your story in my intro, Charlie, but tell us about a little more about you in terms of, the 50 patents and the work that you do in general. Just share a little of that background, if you would.
Well, I love solving problems, and I really, that's my passion. And what I found is that medical devices, there were a lot of problems or things that could be improved, and so that's why for the most of my career I was in medical devices. And um, you by powers of observation, you see the problems people are having or the hardships, and what I would do is find solutions for that.
Hmm. Yeah. And so the Mozy in particular, uh, tell us about that. Tell us about the process of inventing that. It's one thing to say, "Oh, what a great invention," but a lot of us don't stop to ask, "Well, how?" Not why did it come about? We know that, but how? How did you go about figuring this out?
Well, you touched on it in the beginning. It came. I have two or had two teenage kids, and they grew up playing sports, and I often coached them, but I also tried to go to every game. And in the Northeast, the spring and the fall can get really cold. Even the summer after the sun goes down. And what I noticed, especially with my mother, but with other people, is that people get really cold sitting in the stands, often sitting on aluminum benches or on little chairs in the field because the wind is blowing by, and as soon as the sun starts going down a little bit, the shade it drops, it gets pretty chilly. And I
Yeah.
notice people freezing, and I notice people leaving the game to go to their car, start it up, and warm up. And I said, you know what? I know there's a better way to do this. And I noticed people with blankets, and even the people with blankets wrapped around them were still cold. And I realized there was a big gap, that there was nothing to protect their legs and their butt kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's when I said, I'm going to make a better blanket that goes around the waist. Now, the first ones were very ugly. I mean, it looked like a shriveled up piece of, trash almost. And what I did, I went through 41 different designs. So it's not a simple one shot thing. I do the design. I test it out myself. I bought a dummy, like a it was a fluffy dummy, and I loaded the dummy up with all the sensors, and um, with those I knew the temperature on all different points at all different times, and so I did side by side tests with these blankets, compared to what people are using now, which is a stadium blanket. And after the first couple iterations, the results were just amazing. I mean, it was over the top, and the charts showed that within 30 seconds, the Mozy kept you over 500% warmer. And I said, this is something remarkable. And I kept improving it, and then realized that this is unique. I did research, my own patent research, and I did research on other products to see if there's anything out there like it. And there was nothing out there like it, and realized that this is patentable. And so I got one patent on it, and then realized I had made some improvements, and so I got a second patent on it. And that patent isn't issued yet. So the second one is pending. And then as I did focus groups and testing with friends and things, I improved it with people's remarks, and the overwhelming thing was people loved it, and they said, "I have to have one of these." And as soon as someone says that, and more than one person says that, I said, "All right, I'm going to look into manufacturing this and bringing it to market." And that's what got me going to say to go from prototypes where I'd make them for friends to manufacturing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a big leap, and that requires a marketing machine in a way, a marketing effort, and that's where Stephanie comes in. Stephanie, how did you what were some of your early thoughts about how to brand this new creation?
Yeah, so the thing that I always think about when I come on board with a new client, and in this case, Mozy, is how are we going to explain what it is that this thing is? How are we going
Hmm.
to name it? How are we going to talk about it? What's going to be the language around it? What's the verbiage that we're going to use? Because I've found in working with entrepreneurs that a lot of times if I ask them to tell me, like, okay, in 30 seconds or less, tell me what it is that you do, or what it is that you sell, and how it is that you do that, and who you serve. Just 30 seconds or less, like I'm in fifth grade, right? Just like a very, like, yeah, young, so
Yeah,
someone young could
stand up
understand
at the
it.
front of the class, and
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
And it's amazing to me that across the board, most entrepreneurs are really unable to do that. They're unable to kind of get out what it is. They know it's in them, but to be able to put it in language that like a fifth grader could understand. So that's kind of where I approach things from in the very beginning, is like, what are we calling it? When you go to the website, what's the first thing that you see? What's the image? What are the words that you see so that we can get across to someone immediately what it is that it does and the value proposition that it has for you. Because a confused mind never buys, right? So if
Right,
someone is
right.
confused about what it is, you're just not going to get anywhere. So that was kind of my initial starting point.
Well, that's the hard part. It is so funny because I work with mostly personal brands, so I'm dealing more with the person, the personality. But a brand is a brand. We are all brands. We all have traits and values and things we have to communicate. And it isn't a clarity issue. I totally agree with you. It isn't, I don't know what it is, so how do I describe it? It's how do I put into words something that no one has really seen before? That's the hardest thing about being original and inventive is that no one can really compare it, to something else because it isn't quite that, you know? Um, Now, how did you come up with Mozy as a name? That's a very distinctive and catchy name, but how did that name come about?
Go ahead,
Well,
Charlie.
I'll take that one. I did that in the beginning, had a threw a whole bunch of names against the wall, and they were all creative, but coming from an engineering standpoint, they were very blah. And so I actually used the help of an outside marketing company and describing to them what the benefits were and what it does. They came up with the Mozy, which stands for mobile and cozy. You put those together, you get the
Okay.
Mozy, and those are the key benefits. And I said I want something short and memorable, and four letters is good. And I liked a Y in there just to accent it. So that's how the word Mozy came around.
Yeah.
So
And
Hersh, one of the early conversations was like, okay, Mosey is its name, but that doesn't mean anything to anyone, right? Like you could call it like potato, and
right,
like no
right.
one. So having like a little extra sort of subline was really
Hmm.
helpful. So what was that subline going to be? Is it a wearable outdoor blanket? Is it a wear? So we've landed on wearable and weatherproof thermal wrap, partially
Hmm.
because of some of our testing that we've done, which we can talk about a little bit if we get to that, which we think has been really incremental in our marketing success. But partially because if you say blanket, then people think they're automatically thinking like $20, right? Like a
Right.
blanket
Okay.
should be about
Yeah.
$20. So we try to stay away from, even though it's replacing a blanket, we try to stay away from calling it a blanket and calling it a thermal wrap. Um, Most people understand that like a wrap is something you're wrapping around your body, or at
Right.
least women probably understand that. So that's how we kind of came up with Mozy wearable and weatherproof thermal wrap, and that kind of put everything together.
Yeah. And then what about the kind of unisex nature of it? Is it, for men, women? Um, if you think of it as a wrap, how did you deal with that with the market sector like that?
I'm looking at Charlie to see if he was going to
Oh,
answer or not. So typically we don't market to men. It is
Okay.
it is unisex.
Right.
Yeah. So men can use it and do use it, but we typically don't spend actual advertising dollars to men because typically what we found, and this is very stereotypical, but it's just what we've typically found, is that men just say either they're not cold or if they are cold, they don't want to admit that they're cold. Or if they are cold and they're willing to admit that they're cold, they're not wearing a mosey because it looks like a apron or it looks like a skirt.
Right.
So we tend to advertise, even though it is a unisex product, we tend to put our advertising dollars into women. Yeah.
Yeah, that is an interesting point because it does make sense. Genders are very different about how we acknowledge and respond to adverse conditions. I think I could see men, if there's a size that can be wrapped around two people, so, you're kind of seated at a game or something, and there's a super a family mosey that can be wrapped around the entire family. I could see that. I could see men doing it then. What's the timeline been? When did this come out? And how far along in this process of growing this brand are you?
Well, they introduced the product in 2020, and it was
Mhm.
right when COVID was at its height, which is
Yeah.
it's a wrong time to introduce something that you want to have people wearing at sports games because they were all
There are
canceled.
none.
There are
Yeah.
no football games or outdoor things. So it was a tough beginning. We were able to pivot and say, okay, some of the sports fans were going to go towards the fire pit parties and the outdoor social events. But the bring me back to the question.
Yeah. Where so 2020 you launched it.
Yep,
Obviously, anybody who launched anything in 2020 that wasn't a mask or gloves
yep.
a clean
Hand sanitizer.
disinfectant, yeah,
Yeah.
was kind of out of luck. But we got past that period. But how is the product doing? What's your vision for the brand now that it's been out there a little while?
Well, in the beginning, we did introduce it to both men and women, and did
Okay.
focus groups and online questionnaires. And what we found is that the men would make jokes about it. It's like, oh, it's a guy wearing a skirt. I mean, we had male people wearing it very prominently in all of our advertising and everything like that. And we realized that that's not our market.
Yeah.
Like Stephanie said, they don't get cold or they won't admit they get cold. And so we said women is our market, and so that's what we focused on. And we've been growing it steadily, grassroots. And by doing a lot of testing on the internet, we can figure out who our real target market is, and it is women. I guess it's age 24 to 44. Would you say that's about right, Stephanie?
Yeah, or maybe
Um,
more mid 50s included as well. Yeah.
yeah, and but so we changed the whole focus. We changed who we're selling it to and our advertising language. So we had to shift to what sold.
Yeah.
Uh, and 70's been doing a great job figuring out how to sell it. Like you said, it's very hard to sell a product that no one's ever heard of before, and you have to educate them and sell it. And it's a lot harder than it sounds.
Yeah, and anything that's new is hard, as we've talked about. I did have one thought that you could market this to Scotsmen. You could market this in Scotland because it's pretty much
A kilt, right?
it's a heated
Yeah.
kilt.
A heated
You
kilt.
know, you know. Don't be proud. Don't be too proud to wear a heated kilt. You could just put it go right in there. Um, so now here we are. Um, what else is what's in the works? Are there more products? You have so many patents, Charlie. Um, and Mozy is just one product, right?
Yes.
So it's that's what it's gonna sell, right? Are there other products under the Mozy brand, or is it Mozy is just the Mozy?
we do have a whole pipeline of products that complement our original Mozy. Um, we haven't marketed them yet because we're waiting for the Mozy to it really takes off. Um,
Hmm.
and and one mistake we made early in the thing is we launched too many SKUs, and it was just a costly headache.
Yeah.
And so we're recovering from that, but we do have the pipeline. We probably have 8 new products that relate to the Mozy and relate to keeping warm, and that fall under the patent is about convective heat loss.
Uh-huh.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I was just going to say, so can you share what some of these
no,
are,
sorry.
or they're still under wraps?
They're under
No pun
wraps.
intended.
They're under
No
no,
pun
they're under
intended.
yeah, they're still under a wrap, yes. But they
But
all
yeah.
relate, and they're all they fall within the patent. And so the idea is we'd sell them a Mozy, but then they'd get another product that would go along with it. Right now the Mozy protects the legs. What about the feet and the arms and the head and the upper body? So there's a whole we have a whole pipeline. But again, as a small company, we're trying not to be spread too thin, and we're trying to really get the base product core going. And once we get a core and a good core of buyers who like the brand, it'll be much easier to launch other products into them.
And then if we pull back and look at the big picture
Yeah.
of your work and your vision, are there other things down the line that you'd like to develop or do beyond growing this brand?
Well, my past is in medical devices.
Right,
So I'm still developing new products, and not only new Mozy products, but new medical devices.
right.
And those are all medical device takes a long time to get going. And so those are much more long term.
Okay. Well, another thing that I would love to get from each of you as we kind of close the interview is advice for inventors and entrepreneurs. From your point of view, Charlie, people who are original thinkers, innovative thinkers, breaking new ground. A little advice you can give them, and Stephanie, when it comes to the marketing side of startups and new brands and innovations. Any closing thoughts? So let us know first where everybody can find you, and then your final thoughts.
Well, we have an internet site, getthemozy.com, GETTHEMOZY.com. And my advice is to stick with it and keep iterating and improving. And I Stephanie has probably done the most remarkable things in marketing, and that is all about testing the market. And then let me get Mozy or Stephanie. I'm calling her Mozy to tell a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. Yes. So one of the things that we found, Hersh, that is just really launched things for us is doing what we call sprint testing. So instead of taking 3 months or a year to do focus groups or to have a digital ad company try to make throw different ad creatives and ad copy and different targeted audiences on Facebook, just kind of throw them at the wall to kind of figure out what's working, is instead to do something much more scientific. It's like a scientific method of advertising. So, where we're actually taking a hypothesis, like we think that a headline for Mozy um, that we want to test 10 different of them, 10 different headlines to see
Hmm.
what resonates with people really the most. So, for instance, we took warmer than 5 blankets is a headline that we kind of came up with that speaks to the fact that we're 5 times warmer than a blanket in our testing.
Yeah.
And then we tested that against other headlines. So, some of our other headlines might have been like, cozy anywhere or warmth wherever, or, so we would just kind of come up with, and using the help of AI, this is where AI can be really helpful, is,
Sure.
here's some things that we're thinking. AI, already, can you give us 20 more ideas? And then kind of taking the best 10 of those and then doing just traffic ad testing inside of Meta or Facebook ads. So instead of going straight to a conversion traffic ad in the back end of Facebook, what we're doing is we're optimizing for clicks only. So it's much cheaper traffic, and you're only showing them one little thing at a time. So in this case, it's just the headline. So I'm not throwing at them an image and ad copy and a headline, and a hook and a call to action, right? I'm putting in front of them one little piece of
Yeah.
that ad, and I'm testing it to see which one of those 10 gets me the highest click-through rate. And so what we've found is that something that gets you a high click-through rate in click testing, very, very likely, like 80% of the time, will get you the best results when it comes to purchase traffic. So you can
Mm.
pretty much rely on those results, and you get them very cheaply. We spend like $30 and it takes like 48 hours maybe. So you're
Yeah.
not having to wait months, years, spend all of this money. It's very fast information that you can use. Now, okay, I know there's my piece and there's my headline, warmer than 5 blankets. Now I can go do the same thing and test other pieces of the ad with the audiences on Facebook using click traffic. Now, once I have all the pieces together, now I can go spend the money on conversion
Right.
traffic to get those sales. So that's really been huge for us.
Fantastic. Well, you guys have shared a lot of insights. I really appreciate it because it's a product that jumps off the page, but at the same time the story behind it and what you're both doing to bring it out to the public is interesting as well. And I'm interested to follow Mozy, and of course keep following you, Charlie, and see what you come up with down the line. Thank you so much for joining us on Yes Brand today.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Thank
Hersh.
you.
Alright.
If you liked the show,
Yes, and?
it worked for you,
Yes, then?
subscribe and leave a
Yes, friend.
5-star review.
Yes, friend.
Tell all your friends.
Yes, friend.
Get your branding here.
Yes, friend.
Get your branding here.
Yes, friend.
Did I make it